Really? Really? Oh. Let's see what we shall see.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Cosmic Wonder, where we talk all things Marvel and MCU. I'm your host, Warren Thompson, and things are super exciting in the MCU right now, specifically because Marvel revealed all of their Phase 5 and some of their Phase 6. And Phase 5 and Phase 6 so far look awesome. However, I think we're in for a really big treat in Phase 7. And yes, that is a little bit away. However, I think this is the phase that most fans have been truly waiting for. From the specific projects to the heroes and to the villains that we will get in Phase 7 and beyond, I believe that Phase 7 will be the prime phase for Marvel Studios. And I'll explain why, and we'll talk about how Phase 6 is going to end and set up Phase 7. Specifically in regards to the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, and the new big bads that are coming. Now, Phase 1 through 4 and upcoming Phase 5 and 6 have all been about primarily Avengers, with the Guardians of the Galaxy, who I include when I say Avengers because they fought in Avengers Endgame. For the most part, all of the stories revolved around an Avenger or a Guardian. Even if they weren't an Avenger at the time, they would eventually go on to become an Avenger. Spider-Man goes on to become an Avenger, T'Challa goes on to play a huge part in Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, and this is all Marvel really could do because they didn't have the rights to the X-Men or the Fantastic Four at the time to introduce these other groups. Correct. However, since the Fox acquisition, Disney now owns all of these characters, and now they have the ability to include all of these other groups. And this is where Phase 6 comes in. However, we are not going to see the full potential of the Fantastic Four or Mutants/X-Men in Phase 6. We're only going to kind of be teased with them. Yes, the Fantastic Four and the X-Men are going to be a part of Secret Wars. I really don't think Marvel Studios could do a Secret Wars without having the Mutants there and without having the Fantastic Four. However, the Fantastic Four are going to be released late 2024, and the last Avengers film, Avengers Secret Wars, comes out late 2025. That means the Fantastic Four will have only been in the MCU for a year. And if they put the X-Men somewhere in Phase 6, the X-Men won't have even been in the MCU for a year before we get to Secret Wars. But here's why this is actually a good thing. There are 5 major reasons why Phase 7 is going to completely blow away any other phase that we've got so far in the MCU. And this starts with the end of Phase 6. It's a good thing that the X-Men and the Fantastic Four are only going to be introduced at the end of Phase 6, because that means it's just going to be a little tease of who they actually are. We'll have one movie about the Fantastic Four, and maybe the mutants will appear in a couple of projects. Then they will team up and they will fight in Secret Wars. However, like I said, this is just a tease, a glimpse of what the Fantastic Four can do and who the mutants are actually going to be, because I don't believe they will introduce a lot of mutants before Secret Wars. There are a lot of spots in Phase 6, but we already know a lot of the films or projects that are going to be coming out, like Armor Wars or Deadpool or Nova. Projects that have already been announced but don't have official release dates are most likely going to fill these slots of Phase 6, which means we'll probably only get 1 or 2 projects with the mutants in them. So, Phase 6 and the Multiverse Saga ends with a slight introduction to the Fantastic Four and the mutants, and then in Phase 7 is where we pick up and we get really introduced to them. So, reasons 1 and 2 of the 5 points of why Phase 7 is going to blow us away are the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, of course, but really diving into who they actually are, really diving into bigger stories, and most importantly, the connectivity that the MCU offers. We will have individual mutant projects.
That's an old-ass Logan
that will focus on specific characters, but also interconnect with other X-Men projects, with other Fantastic Four projects, and of course, still Avengers projects. And of course, the same goes for the Fantastic Four. They will interact with other X-Men, and they will interact with other Avengers. However, Reed Richards is going to be a very important and pivotal character of Phase 7. Why? Well, because he is the smartest man alive, and he is going to be a crucial component in beating the next big bad of the next saga, which is going to be Galactus, which is actually point 4 and not point 3. Point 3 is one of Galactus's heralds, which I'm assuming is going to be the Silver Surfer. Now, of course, we've gotten a Silver Surfer movie before, The Fantastic Four, The Rise of the Silver Surfer, so there is always the thought that Marvel Studios might want to stay away from the Silver Surfer for a while and introduce another Fantastic Four villain. However, we are expecting Doctor Doom to appear in the MCU quite soon, and we know that he'll probably play a major role in Secret Wars, and could could even be the main villain on top of Kang, giving us God Emperor Doom. But having said that, I do not believe that he's going to be done in Phase 6. I think he's going to continue on in the MCU, at least I hope. But point 3 of why Phase 7 is going to be awesome is because we are going to be introduced to a Herald of Galactus. And I hope it's the Silver Surfer. Now, here's where Reed Richards and the Fantastic Four come in. They're going to come in contact with the Silver Surfer, but I think most of us know how that story goes. Ultimately, the Silver Surfer is typically convinced that Earth is worth saving and defies Galactus. He then works alongside the Fantastic Four and other heroes who will be in the MCU at that point in time to defeat Galactus. But this is going to be a huge event. Galactus is going to be the Kang, or the Doom, of Phase 7 and Phase 8 and maybe even Phase 9, depending on how long they want to take it. But Galactus will be the big bad of the next saga, which could be the Galactus Saga. I've seen a lot of fan art out there that says the Age of Galactus, and I really like that title. Now, Galactus has been defeated many different times in the comics, and sometimes it's not even that hard. Literally, Squirrel Girl defeated him. Well, not really defeated him, but kept him from consuming the Earth by simply being his friend and giving him some nuts. Now, I don't think that's going to happen in the MCU. Of course, I think it's ultimately going to come down to the Ultimate Nullifier. Most comic book fans know what this is. It's the ultimate weapon that can defeat Galactus, and it's actually kept on Galactus' ship. However, in the MCU, I think Reed Richards and the Fantastic Four, and maybe even some other smart people like Bruce Banner, if he's still around, will be the ones to create the Ultimate Nullifier. However, I also believe one more point that is going to make Phase 7 and beyond pretty epic, and that is the cosmic entities. Now, Galactus himself is a cosmic entity. He's a cosmic being, and Marvel Studios recently has kind of been preparing us for cosmic beings. They mentioned the Living Tribunal in Doctor Strange. We actually saw the Living Tribunal in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Magnus, and they introduced Eternity in Thor: Love and Thunder. However, Eternity was very different than his comic counterpart. But even though the cosmic entities might be a little bit different, I do believe they'll have some major roles to play in Phase 7 and beyond, which I hope ultimately leads up to some Avengers, X-Men, and Fantastic Four kind of teaming up with some cosmic entities. We know the Watcher exists in the MCU. We saw the statue of the Watcher in Thor: Love and Thunder, and in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 they showed us some Watchers talking to
Cosmic Spidey!
And in the comic books, although the Watcher is not supposed to interfere, he often...
Please give us Cosmic Spidey!
He's the one who tells the Fantastic Four about the
my God!
Galactus' ship in the comics. So Secret Wars and the King Dynasty are going to be pretty epic, but I think we're in for a real treat when it comes down to fighting Galactus, because it's going to take literally everybody, including some cosmic beings. Now, I say some cosmic beings because some cosmic entities out there choose to actually not interfere with Galactus. Take Eternity, for example. Eternity considers Galactus a part of the natural order of the universe, which is why Eternity doesn't interfere with Galactus devouring worlds. I'm sure there are some other cosmic entities that might feel the same. Take the Living Tribunal, for example. When issuing judgment, all 3 heads have to agree. If only 2 heads agree and 1 doesn't, they will not execute a judgment or interfere. However, I do believe there are other cosmic entities, like the Watcher, and like some Celestials, who will interfere. The Celestials are big ones because Galactus devours worlds, and as we've learned, the worlds are kind of cocoons for unborn Celestials, who feed off of the energy of the population that lives on the planet. And the Eternals made a pretty big deal about how important this is to the Celestials, how important it is for other Celestials to be born, because eventually they go on to create other worlds. So they would probably have an issue with Galactus going around and destroying their worlds that they're creating, some housing unborn Celestials. So I know Secret Wars is going to be epic and the greatest thing that we've got from Marvel Studios so far. However, I think the X-Men and the Fantastic Four are going to be even more involved in Phase 7 and beyond, and I do believe Galactus is coming after Phase 6 as well. So, based off of what we know, Phase 6 will be Kang and Doom, then we'll have Secret Wars and a bunch of different variants, which is going to be an epic battle, but then after that, we'll get more focus on the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, the cosmic entities, and Galactus will come. And hopefully the Silver Surfer, his herald, comes before him and joins the fight. I think this would be the best saga that we've got so far from the MCU. Granted, we haven't finished Phase 5 and 6 yet, and I do believe they're going to be epic, but I think Phase 7 and beyond are going to be even more epic. But let me know what you think about all of this in the comments down below. What do you think we'll see in Phase 7? Don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest MCU news. For live updates, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. Woof woof.
Check this out. So, My concern is this. They haven't blown me away with shit since Endgame. I've enjoyed stuff, really liked certain things I haven't liked. And with the way things have been going, the majority of the fan base is not enjoying it. So, I think that if we are going to get anything that blows us away, they're definitely going to have to course correct and please the fans, the majority of the fans, which I don't know if they're willing to do. We shall see just what Disney is willing to do for you and me. Don't like to play the game. Bars! Damn, that rhymed, man. So, we shall see. I hope that the Cosmic Wonder is absolutely correct and that we will get something that will blow our minds as Marvel and superhero fans. Because if not, DC looks like they're making a course correction that could end up making them the ultimate superhero franchise. But only time will tell. My mind was throwing franchise and time will tell in together. I was thinking too fast for the mouth to catch up to. Post comments down below. Let me know what you think, though. If you enjoyed my reaction and thoughts to this news, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and share and subscribe to Cosmic Wonder. 10 million subscribers. Damn. I just can't stop rhyming. 10 million subscribers. Woo.